process on the chalice later. What? No. So what are the two? One of them's a joy. This is a joy.
This is an announcement. That's okay. I was going to take,
I like Trish's though.
yeah, that's okay.
So I'll take the next one. Good morning. Welcome here in the sanctuary. Welcome those of you tuning in online to the Sunday service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg. We're on land stolen from the Tocobaga and Seminole indigenous Americans. Today's the first day of Hanukkah. I'm very excited that Linda will be willing to share her thoughts and experiences this morning. I'm less excited that we have a typo in the order of service. We have like so many people look at that order of service, and it's so frustrating when we have a typo. Linda Paul Elam is her name. It was auto-corrected. My name is Ben. My pronouns are he and they. I'm excited to bring you today's service, Is Hope Enough, with Linda Paul Elam, with music by Joanne Kellner and Liam Dunn, and with today's worship associate, Susan Bonnevie, formerly Susan Bernard.
Thank you, Ben. If you're looking for a place where everyone is important, politics take a back seat to decency, and where we hope for a more equitable, sustainable future, then I may have found your new church. And I hope that there's some children in the room today. I've spotted a few. We want you to know that you're welcome. You bring a special energy to the room, and we're glad you're here.
One of those children is going to light our chalice in a minute. We have 3 announcements today. We'll be collecting food for the Southside Urban Farm when the kids leave for their classes, so thanks to all who brought in food donations.
Also, our next announcement, first, is Ross Scott in the room? Hey, Ross! Ross, what are you doing tonight?
Beret.
Okay, great. And is Sabina in the room? Who's coming?
Sabina.
And
Hey,
Jerry,
Jerry.
who's coming tonight?
Me, I'm coming. Trisha's coming.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Everybody's coming tonight. If you don't have your ticket yet, you can get one at the door. There's Michael Rowe with his hand up there. He will help you. I want you to remember that tonight, this is the 4th annual Broadway Review. It is our biggest fundraiser of the year. So it's really wonderful that so many of you are supporting us. Thanks to so many people who've donated to the cause. 100% of your ticket price goes straight to the church. So Ross, Sabina, Jerry, and I will see you there.
And our final announcement, who's coming to the Homeless Memorial on Friday? It's not the tone we really want to take as much, Reggie, but there is this lovely insert in your order of service. This is something that we host every year alongside Celebrate Outreach. It will be here in the sanctuary, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope to see you there.
Allow me to give a special welcome to any newcomers or visitors. If you're new to UU St. Pete or relatively new, would you give us a wave? This is so we can come and harass you later. No, really, if you'd like, please briefly introduce yourself, but you're under no obligation to do so. But if you'd like to, just raise your hand and Rev Ben will bring the microphone so we and the people online can hear you. Anyone? There's someone back there. I see a few who are trying to decide. We'll give you a second.
Hi, I'm Michael Corey. I'm visiting from UU in Grafton, Massachusetts, where it's 24 degrees and snowing, so.
Welcome, Michael.
Hi, my name's Ross Klingman. My dad, Bob, has been coming here for a while, and I came to support him. I actually grew up here. My dad took me here when I was a child, and I had a great time here. It's good to be back.
Good to have you back. Good to have you back.
Hi everyone, I'm Jason. This is my first time here. Just lucky to find this place online. Looking forward to getting to know everyone and learning everything I can.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thanks for being sure your cell phones are silent. Regarding masks, we encourage you to wear one as you're comfortable. And now is the time that we turn and greet our neighbors. We're happy to see the new people. We're happy to see one another also. So take the time to say hello. Be sure to get permission before you give that big hug. But welcome.
Common faith part, but I don't think we need to go back to it. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. And they know to read their announcements in the order of service. I don't think we need that either.
I did read this part.
What the hell happened in Sydney?
Okay, tomorrow shooting. It said this morning the lieutenant entry. Okay.
That's the last one in the script. I have 2 and you have 3 now.
Do you want to go back and say this? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'll take one of those though. Oh yeah, I wanted Trisha's. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. And food for the Southside Farm. You can put it in. Is there still a cart in the front? I know there's one in the back. Please rise as you're willing and able for our first hymn. It's number 226 in the gray hymnal, People Look East.
Make your house fair as you are able. Set the hearth and set the table. People look east and sing today. Love the guest is on the way. Furrows be glad, the earth is bare. One more seed is planted there. Give up your strength, the seed to nourish, that in course the flower may flourish. People look east and sing today. Love the rose is on the way. Stars keep the watch when night is dim. One more light the bowl shall brim, shining beyond the frosty weather, bright as sun and moon together. People look east and sing today. Love the star is on the way.
Please remain seated or standing for our chalice lighting. Flaming chalice is a reminder. You guys can come up now. The flaming chalice is a reminder that we choose to focus here together for this time today. And we believe such time is sacred. When where's Ethan? There he is. When Ethan lights our chalice, I invite you to say our covenant out loud so the words can be found in your programs and online. Hopefully you've opened the programs. We have two hand movements. You put your hands to your heart and then hands reaching out like you're serving. Love is the spirit of this church and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Thanks, Susan, for helping. Now we come to the time in our worship for joys, sorrows, and concerns. And I haven't forgotten you, YouTube Live people. You're not here, but your presence is felt. Please type your joys, sorrows, and concerns into the text chat. And during the week, you can email them to me. Right now, Cynthia Patterson is going to place a stone in the water for each one that was submitted this week. And there's still time to bring one up or have your neighbor bring up a card. First, we'll start with a stone of joy. This is from Virginia Fox, and it's from Liam. And that's for everyone who's singing on Christmas Eve. And if you're thinking, rats, I wish I could sing on Christmas Eve, you can. Talk to Liam or Virginia, and you only have to come to one rehearsal.
Each week we appreciate someone or someones who have worked hard to accomplish our mission. This week we have a stone of joy for William Cowan, Lauren Connor, Claudia Sunman, and anyone else who helped to clean up the sanctuary following the roof replacement, and it was a big job. There was quite a bit of dirt and grit. Thank you all so much.
I have a stone of joy that's related to that from said Claudia Sunman, and it's for everyone involved with getting our new roof. I have 5 now. Those that worked so diligently to find funding, those that approved the funding, those that helped the roofers do their jobs, and those that helped clean up afterwards. And I'm going to add the probably hundreds of hours of meetings that our treasurer, Robert, had to go to with so many different FEMA people and state people and all the people.
This next stone is one of sorrow for the families in Sydney, Australia, who are victims of the shooting at Bondi Beach yesterday or overnight, where they were gathered to celebrate Hanukkah.
Yep. I'm just going to let a breath go by. Our next stone is joy, and it's from our president, Trish Birch. This week she will receive recognition for 10 years as a master gardener for Pinellas County. Congratulations, Trish.
This is a stone of joy from Susan Gore. Susan says, I'm elated to be back from a 6-month respite in Panama and returning from Egypt. She has some tales to tell.
Where are you, Susan? Hey, welcome back. A related stone of joy from Michael Rowe. Susan Gore is back among us. We missed her. Welcome back, Susan.
This is a stone of joy from Mike Lovejoy. Mike says, I spent my first overnight in a hospital Thursday night. Apparently I had, I think, a TMI, a transient ischemic attack, double vision for a while. Through physical, but thorough physical showed that I'm very happy. So we're grateful for that.
All right, glad to hear it, Michael. A stone from Grandma Maxine, and this is for David Lee, wishing him peace in his new journey.
And that's it, I think you
And I have another stone of joy. It's from Chris McDonald. It's for the beautiful music of Trish Harding's band. Trish just left with the kids, but her band is playing at the Botanical Gardens in Largo tomorrow, Monday at 6 p.m. Come to the fellowship table if you want more information.
And I think that's what we have, but we will place a final stone for those joys and concerns that remain in our hearts, perhaps too tender to be spoken out loud. And now it's time for a responsive reading from our community covenant. The words can be found in your order of service. You'll follow along with Ben and me. Participants in the UU St. Pete community come together out of a common belief that what we do in this world matters. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is law.
Since a healthy and vibrant community depends upon our adherence to a common congregational covenant, we expect all community participants to commit to the following practices as part of our great covenant. To seek the truth in love, I will approach differences, perspective, and opinion, curiosity, and patience.
I will seek to avoid stereotypes, assumptions, and judgments. I will participate in healthy debate and learn something from others, even those with whom I disagree.
I recognize that I am an imperfect individual and will sometimes fall short of this covenant. I commit to try my very best to live its aspirations.
Together, we will all work to build our beloved
community. May all of us find a comforting and compassionate presence in the warmth of fellowship, in the warmth of community, because the mystery is we're connected even when we feel apart. So let's rejoice in this beloved community that makes of the many one, and let's take about a minute of silence together.
Thank you, Joanne. Our theme today is Hope Enough. And I suspect that Reverend Ben his answer is going to be no. We're so proud to have a minister who really puts his actions where his mouth is, so that he's an activist, and we're really grateful for that. And especially after hearing about what happened in Australia, I would think that all of us are tired of the sorry platitudes of thoughts and prayers that we hear every time there's some terrible incident. Surely hope is not enough. So why talk of hope at all? Is it just a bit of magical thinking, the kind that many UUs reject out of hand? Yet, Reinhold Niebuhr, who's Barack Obama's favorite philosopher, by the way, and I suspect Reverend Ben's also, says that nothing worth doing is completed in our lifetime. Therefore, we are saved by hope. And from Obama's favorite fiction writer, James McBride, I found the most beautiful example of hope I've ever encountered in a novel, The Good Lord Bird. If you haven't read it, I recommend it. It's a wild, funny, fantastic tale, narrated by a young enslaved boy who finds himself in abolitionist John Brown's crusade against slavery in the years leading up to the Civil War. Now, the real John Brown was a piece of work. His cause was righteous and compassionate, but his methods, including executing people he even suspected of being in favor of slavery, were horrible, and he was clearly somewhat of a lunatic. But there's still inspiration to be found in John Brown. At the end of the novel, when he's in prison, awaiting his own hanging the next morning, he's busy writing letters to President Buchanan and others, explaining why slavery is against God's will and a sin against humanity. Rather than giving in to despair, he tells the boy, there is an eternity behind and an eternity before. That little speck in the center, that's our life. And it's comparatively a minute. I has done what the Lord wanted me to do in the little time that I had. I won't live to see the change God wants, but I hope you do. John Brown never expected to end slavery himself. His hope was for a better world that he would not live to see. And the example of hope we're all familiar with, Martin Luther King Jr., who told the crowd in Memphis less than 24 hours before his assassination, "It really doesn't matter with me now. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land." It didn't matter to Dr. King because he knew what Reinhold Niebuhr knew, that nothing worth doing is completed in one lifetime. And he knew what Theodore Parker knew, that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. So yes, no, hope is not enough. Hope doesn't substitute for action. Even crazy John Brown knew that. But hope is still essential. It is still what makes progress possible and hardship endurable. My hope for all of us today is that we remember this paraphrase: pray for the hungry, then feed them. That's how thoughts and prayers and hope really work. Let's begin. Thank you.
Thing on. The song I'm going to sing today, it's called Hope. It's written by Deborah Scroggins. The words are from the Emily Dickinson poem, Hope is the Thing with Feathers. And Joe, just want to give you a little background. This particular setting of that poem was written for Holocaust Remembrance Day. So if the song has a few strange dissonances you're not expecting, that's why. And I just wanted to read the lyrics to make sure you can hear them. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash that little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Liam. Thank you, Susan. I like hope is what makes progress possible and hardship endurable. Today's topic asks a question: is hope enough? And it's the second Sunday in our monthly theme of choosing hope. And Susan, I appreciate your guess that my answer will be no. But like most theological questions, this one doesn't have a yes/no answer. To me, hope is difficult. Hope is dangerous. And like Susan said, hope is essential. Anyone else feeling that? How many people think hope is difficult, for example? Okay. How many think hope is dangerous? And how many people think hope is essential? That was the... Reverend Dr. King did indeed know what Reinhold Niebuhr knew, that nothing worth doing is completed in our lifetime. And how I know that he knew this is because Dr. King's doctoral thesis was about Reinhold Niebuhr. And how I know that is I went to Boston University School of Theology, where Dr. King became Dr. King, and I saw his actual doctoral thesis about Reinhold Niebuhr, the actual pieces of paper. It was under glass, but I saw it. I would go there. It was in the third floor, sort of in a tucked away room of our library at Boston University, and I would go there when I needed a boost, when I needed help finding hope. Last week we heard from Reinhold Niebuhr's contemporary German theologian, Jürgen Moltmann. Who remembers what he said? Mad points if you would have remembered it. So he said this: faith, wherever it develops into hope, causes not rest but unrest, not patience but impatience. It does not calm the unquiet heart, but is itself the unquiet heart in all of us. He probably said it in German. That's the best I could do. I just love his words here. He goes on to say, those who hope can no longer put up with reality as it is, but begin to suffer under it, to contradict it. Here's the thorn part. Hope means conflict with the world, for the goad of the unpromised future stabs inexorably into the flesh of every unfulfilled present. And the Soul Matters curriculum reminds us that listening to hope makes you dangerous, not just soothed. It doesn't relieve us of duty as much as it reminds us that reality is more complex, more unruly, and open to change than the pompously powerful want us to believe. Yes, hope reassures, but it also emboldens. It doesn't just offer us a promise, it gives us a push. But some respected thinkers believe that hope is dangerous in a different way. Is Amy here this week? Amy was at Fellowship on Tap with me on Wednesday, and she said, did you know, because she knew we were talking about hope, she said, did you know that the Buddhist thinker Pema Chodron, anyone familiar with? Yeah. So she, not a fan of hope, as it turns out, which I didn't know. So I went home and I looked it up. Sure enough, in Chodron's book, When Things Fall Apart, says that, quote, hope is really just a crutch or a babysitter, a way of delaying the necessity of looking truth squarely in the eye. In abandoning hope, she advises, we stand a chance of finding confidence in our basic sanity. Now, to understand that point, I feel like we have to take a Buddhist mindset and remember Buddhist values. Chodron says, we hold on to hope, and hope robs us of the present moment. So it's a mindfulness move to not focus on hope because you're not focusing on the present. So instead of hoping, Chodron suggests that we could acknowledge that right now we feel like a piece of shit. Chodron says we shouldn't be squeamish about taking a good look. That's the compassionate thing to do, she says. That's the brave thing to do. We could Smell that piece of shit. We could feel it. What's its texture, its color, its shape? She goes on at some length about the piece of shit. I went to this new church and the pastor said shit over and over again. Ta-Nehisi Coates, also not a fan of hope. Coates and other historians believe that white supremacy will, quote, always be with us in some form, and the best one can reasonably hope for is that it will shrink in impact. I actually had the idea for this worship service because I saw an interview with Ta-Nehisi Coates, and he talks about historical white supremacy and how it's basically entrenched and will almost probably never go away. And the white interviewer at the end says, well, can't you end on a hopeful note? And Coates was basically like, yeah, that's not my job. Coates thinks that writers who commit themselves to only writing hopeful things are committing themselves to the ahistorical and the mythical, right? As I wrote this reflection, I actually wondered if Coates and Schodren ever read Reinhold Niebuhr, ever read Jürgen Moltmann. I wondered if Coates and Schodren ever framed hope not so much as a reassuring pat on the head, but as the stabbing thorn of the promised future guiding us to action. Then I realized that both Niebuhr and Moltmann were white men. Coates and Schodren are not. Susan talked about Unitarian minister Theodore Parker, author of the very hopeful moral arc of the universe bending towards justice. Parker was also a white guy. I am also a white guy. Is the idea of hope naive? Is it based partly on white privilege? Maybe, but Parker's words inspired Dr. King, and he repeated them over and over again. Moral arc of the universe bends towards justice. And King's friend Jesse Jackson would end his speeches in the 1980s, keep hope alive. Remember, keep hope alive. Surely these two men were in touch with present reality. Surely they knew the feel and the smell of the shit, as Schodren put it. Our UUA president, Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, is the first woman of color, an openly queer person, to be elected as our president. She says, quote, a practice of hope can be especially difficult for those of us who are targeted by those who wish us to succumb to despair. BIPOC, remember, means Black, Indigenous, people of color. BIPOC and LGBTQIA+ beloveds, federal workers, she says, caregivers, and all who are targeted by policies, politics, and a lack of care. Reverend Dr. Sophia urges us to lean on one another in this season. Let us remind one another through our religious practice of worship, through our action in the streets, through feeding our neighbors, through singing with children, through educating one another. Let us remind one another of the hope that is among us in community, and of the opportunity at the turning of the year to begin again. She says we are not waiting passively on a miracle, beloveds. We are working together for our shared values. May those values be a guiding light for the season. Maybe Schodren and Coates are right, but I do find hope to be essential for my own spiritual practices. I do find hope to be difficult, especially for those on the margins, especially in the current political climate, especially when the news reflects senseless deaths like today's news does in Perth, Australia. I do find hope to be dangerous, especially to those invested in the status quo. When I knelt down and prayed on that miracle that said Black History Matters, I hoped I would be allowed to pray all night. I hoped the workers would realize that erasing the mural was wrong. I hoped they would stop their machines and refuse to erase that beautiful mural. It did turn out that way, but my hope was not extinguished. It merely changed form. Now I hope that the world sees the video of Reverend Andy and me being dragged off to jail for the crime of praying. I hope the world sees the others who protested these erasures. I hope they are inspired by their example, as I'm inspired by Dr. King's example. I hope the world sees the grandmothers being handcuffed by ICE, dragged into police custody as they laugh in the faces of their ICE captors. I hope the world sees the inflatable frogs of Portland meeting police violence with humor and silliness. Hope. Dangerous, difficult, essential hope is not a feeling we wait for, but a choice we make. Hope is not the absence of struggle, but the decision to keep moving through it. We're not waiting passively on a miracle, beloveds. We are working together for our shared values. Did you know the Black History Matters mural was repainted a couple nights later by a group of people which will remain nameless, snuck in the cover of night, repainted the whole thing? The Black History Matters mural was back again. The FDOT workers had to come back and erase it again. Did you know that a few weeks later, my mother and I participated in recreating the banner using our own bodies? My mother, who's here today, along with hundreds of people, filled up the letters with our bodies. We held up colored paper, and there was a drone that took a photo. The Black History Matters banner mural was back again. My hope was not extinguished. It merely changed form. And some of you were with me Friday when we sang Christmas carols at homeless shelters. For those of you who haven't been, the event is called Still No Room at the Inn. Celebrate Outreach has been organizing it for 35 years. 80 of us, adults and children, gathered to sing, to walk, to distribute candy canes and love. I dare say our presence brought hope to many hearts and laughter to many lips. So yes, Susan, let us pray for the hungry. Then let us feed them. Then let us ask why they have no food. Then let us change the policies that keep people hungry. Then let us make sure there is food for everyone. Is hope enough? It seems ridiculous that a heavily armed, fear-mongering, autocratic government has anything to fear from inflatable frogs, carol singers, and praying pastors. Yet, we're approaching the season commemorating a baby that stood up to the Roman Empire. Hope is dangerous, difficult, and essential. Hope is the thing with feathers that purchases the soul. It might not be enough, but I think it's a good start. And I have to say, it's hard for me to stay hopeless when I am surrounded with inflatable frogs and subversive carol singers. It's hard to stay hopeless when I see William, Lauren, and Claudia cleaning up this sanctuary, when I see volunteers feeding those who need it on Fridays and on Saturdays. I'm more hopeful when I'm with you as part of this community. I hope you are too. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be.
the ushers would come forward, please. This is carved in the dining room wall at the UU retreat called the Mountain. I drink from wells. I've got them. I've got them. This, I think, is the perfect UU blessing before a meal or before an offering. It says, I drink from wells I did not dig. I am warmed by fires I did not make. So I'm grateful. It's from the Old Testament, and I consider it supremely Unitarian Universalist. In our sanctuary, the offering will now be given and gratefully received.
That which is given in love is received with great joy. Thank you. I'm so pleased to welcome Linda Paul Elam, sorry for the typo, to talk to us about Hanukkah.
Good morning. I've been a member of UUSP for 13 years and a UU for 52 years. Yikes. I was raised in a Jewish family, and so this morning I'm here to talk to you about Hanukkah. Hanukkah is considered a minor Jewish holiday, except not in the eyes of the children. Hanukkah was, for me as a child, a consolation prize for not being allowed to celebrate Christmas. Hanukkah meant playing with the dreidel, where we learned to gamble, eating potato latkes and jelly donuts, having parties, and most importantly to us kids, getting gifts. We got a present on each of the 8 nights of Hanukkah, but in my family, the first 7 presents were very small, and only the last present was, good size. And we also would get Hanukkah gelt, and gelt is the Yiddish word for money. Sometimes it was real money, but most of the time it was those gold chocolate-covered coins. We see them in the store today. The dollar store has them. I learned in Jewish Sunday school about the heroism of Judah Maccabee and his army. They fought against the Egyptian king Antiochus and his army, and they achieved their goal of saving the Jewish temple. I learned about the Hanukkah miracle. In the temple, there was only enough oil for the candles or the lights to burn for 1 day, yet that oil lasted for 8 days, thus the 8 days of Hanukkah. We light 1 candle each night of Hanukkah until all 8 have been lit. And we eat the potato latkes and the jelly donuts because they're cooked in oil. Hanukkah is also called the Festival of Lights. The candles of Hanukkah menorahs add light to the dark winter nights. My grandparents' first language was Yiddish. My grandmother would pinch my cheeks and say, "Good Yontif." Good Yontif means good holiday. Hanukkah begins at sundown today, and I wish you all good Yontif.
Thank you, Linda, and good Yontif to you, too. Now please rise as you're willing and able for our closing hymn. It's number 244 in the gray hymnal, "It Came Upon the Midnight Clear."
Before we sing this hymn, Susan wants me to tell you that the words to this song were written by a Unitarian Universalist.
That's right. That's right.
It came upon the midnight clear, that glorious song of old, from angels bending near the earth to touch their harps of gold. Peace on the earth to all goodwill, from heaven the news we bring. The world in solemn stillness lay to hear the angels sing. Still through the cloven skies they come, with peaceful wings unfurled, and still their heavenly music floats o'er all the weary world. Above its sad and lowly plains they bend on hovering wing, and ever over its Babel sounds the blessed angels sing. But with the woes of war and strife, the world has suffered long. Beneath the angel strain have rolled 2,000 years of wrong. And we who fight the wars hear not the love song which they bring. Oh, hush the noise of battle strife, and hear the angels sing. For lo, the days are hastening on, by prophet bards foretold, when with the ever-circling years comes round the age of gold, when peace shall over all the earth its ancient splendors fling, and the whole world give back the song which now the angels sing.
Let's stay standing and extinguish our chalice. Christine Chorowski is going to extinguish it, and we invite you to follow along with the hand gestures: light of truth, warmth of love, fire of courage. They're in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of courage. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. You may be seated as Liam plays our postlude. Thank you, Liam. Our worship is over, but our service begins. Please join us for coffee in Gilmore Hall, and I hope to see you at Cabaret Night later today. We hope this time together will help you through your week. We'll help you remember you are not alone. Blessings.